You're listening to the Batuta Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Batuta Advocate Weekly Bulletin. You're joined by myself, Editor Clancy Overell, our newsreader Wendell Hussey. Hello, Wendell.
Hello, Clancy. How are you?
Good, thanks. And, of course, Editor-at-Large Errol Parker. How are you, Errol?
Pretty good today, mate. Let's get into it.
What happened in the news this week, Wendell?
Plenty happened. We'll start off with some national stuff, though, and Australians have been advised to not look too far into the history of some of our statues either.
Yes, after a big week of anti-racism protests and activism around the world that's seen statues torn down and vandalised across the UK and US, Australians have been urged to maybe steer clear of all that here. That conversation is an inconvenient one, given the amount of famous historical figures who took part in genocidal crimes in our own country.
Yeah, it is a tricky situation, isn't it? I mean, for example, that Macquarie was a nasty fuck, wasn't he? I mean, there's plenty of statues of Governor Lachlan Macquarie all over Australia. He's a man who's often associated with the founding of post-colonial Australia, but he's also well known to historians outside the Australian school system as someone who enjoyed throwing Aboriginal women and children off cliffs.
Yes, it's an uncomfortable fact that plenty of people don't want to talk about, so we'll see if we can just avoid this conversation altogether, I reckon.
But if we do have to have it, there was a helpful comment on the story from Tom Mum, who said, if we do tear these statues down, Rio Tinto should be put in charge of tearing them down because they're pretty good at destroying sacred sites. Elsewhere around the country now, and onto a bit more of a positive story, Uncle Tony Abbott has now been tipped to win a Nobel Prize for selfless protection of refugees and the environment.
Yes, a feel-good story this one, after Tony Abbott was finally recognised this week on the Queen's Birthday Honours List for his significant contributions to trade, border control and to the Indigenous community. It's been revealed that the accolades might not stop there.
That's right, Fancy Clancy. Next stop, a Nobel Prize, they're saying now, as recognition for his cultural advances as an environmental advocate and his tireless work protecting refugees.
Had a heart of gold. Heading overseas now to the not very United States of America, and Trump has told his supporters he's going to need another 4 years to really make America great again.
Yes, he's given his word on it. After another week of chaos in the land of the free and home of the brave, US President Donald Trump has quoted Powderfinger in saying, "These days turned out nothing like I had planned." So he's going to need another presidential term just to fix everything. They've had a few minor setbacks.
Yeah, well, the former host of the American version of Celebrity Apprentice, he made those comments in Bigottsfield in Mississippi. And he said there were a number of reasons why everything's gone even further to shit over there. But none of them are his fault. And he's definitely going to turn things around this time. Starting with sticking up to Antifa.
In some local news now, and a woman's latest wave of anxiety is either from her second coffee or the collapse of Western civilization.
Yeah, it certainly does get like that. Sometimes I think about packing up all my things, selling my antique rifle collection and just taking the Jayco around the country till I drop. So I hear this young lady and her concerns, but it does sound like she's got the light head jitters on this occasion from a bit of a caffeine overload.
Yeah, sounds like a dream, the grey nomad dream you're talking up there, Errol. I have plans myself. But yes, this 24-year-old Naomi Wells said that she had a sudden wave of anxiety and restlessness this week and thought it may have been due to the seemingly inevitable spiral towards an apocalypse, but soon realised it was probably had more to do with her having a second long black before clocking on for the day. So hopefully she's feeling a bit better now.
Indeed, moving on to another potentially dangerous brew now, and Pete Evans has been praised by mainstream media skeptics for his daring new asbestos broth recipe.
Paleo Pete, yes, I know this paper love to hang a lot of crap on mainstream media for giving this fucking lunatic airtime, but, you know, I think that's a bit hypocritical with this story because, once again, we've given this oxygen thief more oxygen than he's worth.
I don't know, Pete is a pretty grounded guy who doesn't care about the money, he just wants to help people, he reckons, which is why he is offering this asbestos broth recipe in his new book, only available on ebooks at Google, which he says provides bone support through the 6 vital fibrous crystals and is a must-try for anyone who believes in alternative health.
Yeah, well, if the famous Hobart DJ Astrolabe is listening to this, could you nut this cunt next?
Any comments on that one, Wendell?
Yeah, there was a great one from Andrew Kirkby, one of our valued commenters, who said he's all on board with Pete Evans' new recipe because everyone needs fibro in their diet. It helps keep you regular.
That's it for us this week. Thank you for tuning in wherever it is you are in the world, and we'll be back next week with all the biggest stories from our humble regional Western Queensland newspaper. Until then, I'm Clancy Overell. Remember to wash your hands, especially after you've taken a shit.
And my name is Errol Parker.
My name is Wendell Hussey. Goodbye.